Hello everyone. So today I am going to show you how to make a flower bouquet out of your hands for Mother's Day. So this is the one that I made, and every flower on the inside, the top, those are all my hand prints. And I even made a little bouquet holder for them. So I'm going to show you how to do all of this in this video. Excuse me. So what you're going to need is construction paper, a ruler, scissors, pencil, a glue stick, or a hot glue gun. If you have a hot glue gun, make sure that you're in a safe area and that you have an adult nearby or who's helping you, or even tape, because I find that in some parts of this little activity, tape is better used. Okay. Also, if you don't have construction paper, you can use plain paper and just color it. Use whatever colors you want, make it your own. It's still the same thing. Okay, so to get started, we want to start picking out colors that we want to have our flower heads, well, our palm prints. So in mine, I had chose blue, orange, pink, and red. So right now I'm going to grab the orange, or actually I'm going to grab pink. This is where you grab your pencil, and take the ring, and you can start tracing your hand. At any point, you need to pause the video so you can get all of them done. That's okay, I will be here. I only did 5 flowers in that bouquet. So you can do as many flowers as you want. You can have 8 or 3, as many as you want. And I am drawing a second handprint on the paper because I can fit it. And this is like a nice little gift for your mom because it's homemade and it's a flower out of your hand. And she'll love that. Okay, so once you have all your hands drawn out, so I have an extra one right here that I've already done. Once you have all the ones that you want picked out, you can start cutting them out. And once I get to like the one fingertip, I like to cut the rest of the paper off just because I find it easier to get around the rest of the fingers. I'm just going to cut this piece off. Ooh. So once you have all of your handprints all cut out, we will work on the center of the flower. So in my flowers, I put, I don't know if you can see, but I put like a little yellow piece on the inside, kind of like tulips, right? So once you have all of those cut out, I have a couple of extras here already from when I did it before. So once you have them out, all the ones that you want, we will work on the yellow. And you can use any color that you want. It doesn't have to be yellow. I just chose yellow. So this is where your ruler will come in handy. So with your ruler, you want to use the centimeters side. And I like to measure out 6 centimeters length of the paper. So I put a dot on one side, and then on the other side, I put another little dot just because I find it's easier to line up my line. So once you've got both dots, make your line, and you can measure out another 6 centimeters. I like to measure it once I cut it. So with the 5 flowers that I did there, I needed about 2.5 of these strips. So you want to make sure that you cut out at least 2 or 3 of them, maybe even extras just to be sure. So once you have that cut out, you're going to take them and you're going to cut little slits into them. So they look like a little hula skirt kind of thing. I also leave like a space at the top. So I like to say like a finger width space. So that way when you're gluing it to the stems, it sticks and these are still able to bend a little bit. So you can start by cutting little tiny slits in. And like I said, if you need to pause the video, feel free. I am here. I kind of just follow the same line at the end. So like the last one that I cut, I kind of just make sure I cut to the same length. You can measure out your finger and draw a line if you'd like. So that way you know you're cutting to that line and you're not going past it. And I'll make this one a little bit smaller. Okay. So once you have all of that cut out, we can put that to the side. Put them on the side with our hands, and we will work on the stems now. So for the stems, I used green construction paper. Again, you can color it any one you want, or use any different color. So we're going to go on this side again. We're going to use our ruler and we're going to measure out 6 centimeters, just like the yellow. So I'm going to do my dot. And then on this side, I'm going to do my dot again. Line it up. And again, you can measure out another 6 centimeters if you like, because you want to make sure that with how many handprints that you made, you want to cut the same amount of stems. Okay, so we can start by cutting our stems out. Oops. Okay, so once you have your stems, you want to make, like I said, you want to make sure that you have enough with how many prints that you made. So with the stems, I like to bend it in just a tiny bit. So we'll say one centimeter bend if you want to use your ruler to make sure that you've got that. So I like to bend that in, press that down, and then continue to bend until you get to the end. So this is where I use the tape because I do find the tape works a little bit better with keeping it together, because once you put tape on it, we're going to squish them so that way they kind of stay into like a cone. I don't need that big piece. Oh, it unraveled. So you might want to make sure, because it does unravel a bit, so maybe you have some pieces of tape already on the side ready to go. And then I wrap it around the top part first. So I seal the top part. And sometimes it rips a little bit. So if there is a rip, just put a piece of paper, or sorry, a piece of tape around it, and it'll be fine. So again, I'm just going to place it around the bottom or the top, just to keep it together. And this part is having a hard time staying together, so I'm just gonna tape that in. Okay. So once you have your stems made, now that they're flat, if you just press on the corners that are flat lightly, you can turn it into a tube or a stem. So once you got all those done, this is where the yellow frilly comes in. So what I did was I started by rolling it once until you got it all the way around, and then I would go a second time. Once that's done, I would just tear it off at the bottom. So now you can unroll it. And this is where your glue can come in handy. So you put glue all the way across the bottom of the yellow where you didn't cut or add tiny like little slits in. That fingerprint or finger space that you have there. So once you have the glue on there, you can place the top of your stem on it, and you want to put it just so that way where it hits the top of the, like where it kind of bends off. And then make sure it's a cone, because if it goes flat, it won't be tight. So you want to wrap all the way around tight. Oh, my glue kind of dried there. Took too long. There we go. Oh. Got some of the string left over. Okay, so once that is on, you can take the tiny, let's see how you got through just, okay, so you're going to take a pencil and you're going to roll it all the way, I don't know if you can see that, down. And you're going to do this for every single one of them. So the ones on the outside, I rolled further down than the ones on the inside. So that way they kind of rolled out over top of each other. So I didn't roll the ones in the middle that far down as the ones on the outside. So it should look something kind of like that. Okay, so now that you have that, we can use our hands. So you grab one of your handprints, and when you go to place it, you want to make sure that the yellow part is sprouting right underneath your 3 fingers right here. So for me, when I go to roll it, I like to put a little bit of tape in the center to make sure that it stays in place. I'm going to use a little bit of tape. Okay, so now I have it taped on. And what you're going to do is you're going to roll, oops, this side. So you want to roll your pinky in and roll your thumb around it. So when you're going to do that, you're going to want to place glue right here on the back side of where your pinky is. And you're going to want to place glue on the inside of where your thumb is. To get it to stick, you can just stick your fingers inside your flower and just press down on the seam. This will help it stay in place. So there you go. So now you've got most of it done. You've got the flower on the inside. And now we're going to roll our fingertips just like we did with the yellow piece. Okay, so again, you want to grab it at the top and just hold it and kind of and roll down. There we go. And the last one. So now that I want to fix that one. Okay, so now that you've rolled all of them, this is what your flowers should look like. So I've got extras here, and the same with the ones in the bouquet. So once you have all your flowers done, I'm going to show you how to make the holder, the bouquet part. And when I made it, I added little extra hearts on the side. One, because I found it helped hide the seam and keep it together, and it was cute. Okay, so now we've got the holder, and you can choose any color you want. I think this time I will go with blue. Okay, so when you go to roll this, you want to have it this way, and you're going to curve it, so that way it kind of looks like this. So when you go to curve it, depending on how many flowers you made, so with my bouquet, I only made 5, so I didn't make this part too big. You want to make sure that when you're rolling it, that this part kind of goes small. You want it to kind of go to a tip. So I'm going to roll that side in. I've got it small. And we're just going to roll. Now that I've got it rolled, right here at the top, you can put a little bit of glue. So you want to put it on the inside. And then you just place it on there. And again, you can stick your hand inside and hold it down. This will help make it stick better. Okay, so with the bottom, as you can see, it's a little bit open. I like to close the tip, pinch it, and push it up. And you can add a little bit of glue underneath that flap that you're pushing up. Oops. And I tuck it on the inside. And then now I got the one side that's sticking open, so I just put a little bit more glue there. And I'm going to squeeze it closed. So now I've got it completely closed. And it looks like this. So with the seam on the side, like I said, I did hearts and I covered it. So I'm going to show you how I did the hearts. So I am going to use pink. So with the pink paper, you want to do a hamburger fold. So it's like this. Now that you've got it folded, you are going to draw half of a heart. So it's going to be just half on the seam. So you want to make sure you go on the seam and down. So once you have that, you can take your paper. Oh, I should have done this side. You can go all the way around. Once you cut that out, because you got it on the edge, right? You should have a hole. There's a heart. You can see the heart. And you have your heart. I don't know if that's easy to see or not. So cut out as many hearts as you want, big, small. And once you have all your hearts, you can start by placing them on. So I started by covering the seam. So I put a little bit of glue there. And then I placed my heart on the seam. So I don't know if you can see the seam or not there, all the way down. So I put it at the tip. And once you're done that, I had taken, because if you put your flowers in, depending on how many you have, they might sink to the bottom and just be sticking out kind of like that. So what I did was I used some of the scraps that I had left over from the cutting, and I just kind of bunched them up and I tossed them into the bottom. Kind of like tissue paper confetti, really. So just bunch it up, toss it in, and I used my pencil to push it down. And now, when I stick my flowers in, and stick it around the paper. Whoops. There we go. And they fit perfectly inside. So once you're done, it should look a little something like this one. And that is how you make a handprint bouquet. I really hope you guys enjoy this activity and that your moms all love their flowers. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.